The strong silent type is an iconic male archetype, and everyone knows at least one celebrity or movie character who has this personality. This archetype always mystifies people because they speak very little, but when they do, everyone in the room stops and listens to what they have to say. They also tend to be very attractive to women because they are a constant mystery that women want to solve. The strong silent type may seem like an archetype that's only meant for celebrities or movies, but everyone who shares this personality all have some common traits that make becoming this archetype very easy. In this video, we are going to look at Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher, as he is a perfect example of this. Then I will show you how you can add these same traits to your own life, so you can be the strong silent type that everyone loves. Before we begin, however, be sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm.
Foltest and Ada. What happened to them? Not answering questions is a pillar of your brooding charm.
Pretty sure Foltest is the father.
Geralt is a man of few words, and while it may seem obvious that speaking less is a major characteristic of being the strong silent type, there's actually a very good reason as to why this is so powerful. Scarcity adds value, so the less you talk, the more valuable the words you do speak are. Now, this doesn't mean you can just say anything and it will be super valuable. The context of what you're saying still has to mean something. When you speak less, it makes people pay more attention because they know you don't provide input very often. So therefore, even if you are saying something similar to what everyone else is saying, your words will be taken more seriously. The trick to this is that you need to choose carefully what you want to say and put more thought into it. Because of this, people will add more weight to what you're saying because they assume that your words are more thought out and more reliable than someone who talks a lot without thinking. Get into the habit of saying less than necessary. When you talk to people, put more thought into what you say and try to make your responses short and sweet, to the point where people would expect you to provide more detail, but you stop short.
Where are you from, Geralt?
Rivia.
I don't know where that is, but I could learn if you'd let me.
No.
Because I'm a girl and girls can't be witches. Which I think is probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
When women say a man is mysterious, they are almost always talking about the strong, silent type of guy, because he always says less than necessary and makes them wonder what he is thinking. The other added benefit of saying less than necessary is that you reduce the chances of you saying something stupid or oversharing. This means that people will like you more because you are careful with what you say, thus more careful with how you make people feel. People tend to dislike others who are very opinionated, so keep your opinions to yourself unless asked. You will notice that most people will treat you better because since you are so quiet, they assume that you agree with their viewpoint, even if you don't. Geralt is a good example of how powerful always saying less than necessary can be, but he is not a perfect example of it. He has shown at times that he can be insensitive and even ignore people. This is due to the fact that Witchers don't really have emotions, but saying less than necessary isn't about being insensitive or ignoring people. It's about choosing your words carefully.
I want nothing.
Well, who knows? Maybe someone out there will want you.
I need no one. And the last thing I want is someone needing me.
And yet, here we are.
To be aloof means to be removed either physically or emotionally, or to be cool and distant. People who are the strong, silent type give off an aura of being aloof. Geralt is especially like this as he always seems disinterested and somewhat guarded. There are actually very few things he enjoys doing. Most people might assume that this would make him less approachable, especially to women, but this is not the case. Being aloof is another trait that makes you look mysterious and therefore interesting. People want to know what your real interests are and what makes you tick. This is especially true in real life, as the major reason why girls tend to love bad boys is because they are aloof. Being aloof doesn't mean being emotionless or stoic. It means showing a slight disinterest most of the time and only showing true emotion when it's very important. We see this in Geralt as he only shows emotion when it's a serious situation, like when his friend Jaskier was injured and was on the verge of dying, or when it came to showing a girl that he really liked that he was in fact serious about her.
Before we met, the days were calm, and the nights were restless. But now, you're important to me.
Geralt at times actually comes off as being too aloof and gives the impression that he's always in a bad mood, but even with that, it makes girls and other people want to find out how they can make it better. It's almost a challenge to them. To make this work for you, don't be so aloof that you give off the impression that you're in a bad mood or grumpy. You instead want to have an air of boredom. Don't give people the idea that your hobbies are too good for them either, but instead that you're only interested in certain things. For instance, Geralt isn't interested in conversation, social gatherings, games, or even friendships. What he is interested in, however, is coin, helping people, girls, his horse, and being a witcher. His aloofness to anything that's not his particular interests make him seem mysterious, which is very interesting to most people, especially girls. Being aloof is essential to being the strong silent type because it shows people that you are so confident that you almost seem bored. Another trait that Geralt and most other strong silent type people have is that they always put the mission first. In Season 1, Episode 5, Geralt has to save Jaskier, who was injured by a djinn. Geralt takes Jaskier to Yennefer, who is the only mage in town, and she immediately starts to hit on Geralt. He tells Yennefer that getting Jaskier help comes first, but would be interested after. This is so powerful because, by temporarily rejecting Yennefer, he was showing her that his goals come first, and if he missed the opportunity to be with her, it wouldn't matter because there would be more. When you show a woman that your own development is more important, it's very attractive. It tells her that you're a confident man with abundance. Anything that you need has power over you, so when you show her that you need or want her right away, it comes across as weakness. Therefore, when you put yourself and your mission first, it shows that you have options, which gives you the power instead. We see this in Geralt often, as he is not afraid to cut off anyone who holds him back. Geralt might do this to the extreme, as seen when he cuts off his only friend, Jaskier, who actually helped him improve his image over time and made him more human. But for most people in the real world, it's the opposite. They hang on to every person for too long, even if they are obviously toxic and provide no value. Look at your own group of friends and think to yourself, what value does each person provide? If the answer is very little, or if they actually are more trouble than they're worth, it might be wise to cut them off. To truly put your mission first, you need to start by having a mission. Start by making some small realistic goals, and don't let anything stop you from achieving them. Then gradually make harder and harder goals, and you will soon notice that you are accomplishing things left and right. Geralt obviously doesn't write down his goals, but when he sets out to do something, he doesn't stop until it's completed. That takes discipline, which is learned by having small wins. The final trait that people who are the strong silent type have is a mastery of vocal tonality. When you speak, there are 3 types of vocal tonalities: rapport seeking, rapport breaking, and rapport neutral. Rapport seeking is characterized by an upward inflection at the end of each sentence and softer overall tones. It's almost as though every sentence is being framed as a question. People usually use this tonality when they feel unconfident or subordinate to whoever they are speaking to. When you use this tone, you are seeking rapport, attention, or affection from said person. It gives off the impression that you are a very weak and passive person. Here's an example of seeking rapport.
Come here. Come on, give me a kiss. You look so beautiful right now. Come on.
Kiss you?
You look so beautiful
Kiss
when you're
you?
here. Yeah, give me one.
Rapport breaking is the complete opposite and is characterized by harsher tones and a downward inflection at the end of each sentence, as if you were commanding someone to do something or punishing a dog for peeing on the carpet. This tone sends the message that you are in charge and they better do what you say. It's usually used by people of authority. When you use this tone, you are breaking rapport, meaning that you are not seeking friendship or attention or anything of the sort from said person.
Turn this off.
This is important.
Rapport neutral is the final tonality and is characterized by neutral tones and no inflection. This is your natural voice tone when you're not trying to be overly agreeable or disagreeable. It's the tone you use more often, and you usually use it around people you are comfortable with. You are not seeking or breaking rapport with this one. Geralt always speaks in either a rapport neutral or rapport breaking tone. He never uses rapport seeking. This is the same with all strong silent types, as rapport seeking is seen as very weak. Geralt is unique because he has a very deep voice. His tone is even lower than Henry Cavill's regular voice, meaning that the character is intentionally portrayed this way. His naturally deep voice makes speaking in a neutral or rapport-breaking tone seem effortless. To make vocal tonality work in your favor, the first step is being aware of the different tonalities. Most people aren't even aware that they are usually seeking rapport. Practice paying attention to which tone you use when speaking to people. The majority of the time, you should be speaking in a rapport-neutral tone, rarely using rapport-breaking, and never using rapport-seeking. Gradually start correcting your tone when you notice you're seeking rapport, and you will naturally start using rapport-neutral as your default. Also, pay attention to how people speak to you. If someone often speaks to you in a rapport-seeking tone, it means they are either attracted to you or feel that you are superior to them in some way. If they speak to you in a rapport-breaking tone, the opposite is true. With time, you will soon be talking like Geralt of Rivia, and people will be complimenting you on your strong voice. The strong silent type is a classic male archetype that we've all at one point or another wished we could be more like. I've shown you 4 traits that all people of this archetype have that anyone can replicate with practice. It's not impossible to completely change yourself and become someone new, even if you're the complete opposite of this. You just have to believe in yourself and make daily changes to become who you want to be. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever known anyone who was the strong silent type.